trainers. And yeah, just a little bit about my background. I work with an organization called Advanced Coaching and Leadership Center, which was founded by a gentleman by the name of Alan C. Walter. And Alan designed what we call the zones. And where do you sit in the zones? And are you in the red zone, the yellow zone, or the green zone? And I started working with Advanced Coaching and Leadership Center just over 3 years ago, and just really, really excited to be able to share the zones with you, because if you understand where you are in the zones, if you understand that you're down here in the red zone, it's a lot easier to find out where you want to go. And so, yeah, as I said, I started working with Advanced Coaching and Leadership Center 3 years ago. How I found myself there is I was not in a great space, and it was actually Blair Singer who recommended that I start working with Advanced Coaching and Leadership Center. And I started working with the head coach there, a lady by the name of Seal Stanford. And I did what we call a zones profile or a life analysis, where you actually fill out a form and you plot out where you are in the zones. I was very much down here at the bottom of the red zone when I started. And within 6 months, I was able to get myself up into the green zone, and I became very, very
Hi guys, so we're just having a little bit of an internet issue on Nicole's end. We're currently sorting it out, so please just stay on the call. We'll be back shortly. Thank you very much. Hi guys.
okay. I'm back. My internet is now back. So yeah, just really, yeah, great start to the year. Start the webinar and the internet dies and everything goes boom. It's a great start. And I was just talking about being in the green zone. Who wants to be in the green zone? And everything just went poof and died. So if you would like to be in the green zone and start your year off and have a green zone year, I would love for you to type green into the chat box. That would be awesome. Okay, Margaret says green, Delian, Nicolene, Michelle, Tanya, Michelle and Eugene, Kim. Okay, awesome. So you are in the right place at the right time, and really, really excited that we have two of fully qualified processors on the call with us today. They are both qualified in December in the Vital Fundamentals of Processing course. in December last year. So let's introduce them. So Kirsten, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Nicole. So yeah, I'm Kirsten. I am a biokineticist by trade, but as Nicole says, I just recently completed my Vital Fundamentals of Processing, which is really exciting and a huge goal that I achieved last year for myself along with the team. So I'm really excited to be able to use those skills and that knowledge and those abilities to be able to help as many people as possible. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you, Kirsten. And then we also have Margriet. So Margriet, if you could introduce yourself.
Thanks, Nicole. So yes, I'm actually a chartered accountant by day, processor by night. Yeah, so I also joined the journey and completed my training last year. So as Kirsten said, it was a huge goal, huge win. And I'm so excited for the future and for this year and for the opportunity to help others learn and grow. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And it is great to have both of you join us today. And yeah, today we're just going to be chatting a little bit about how to set your year off into a great place. And one of the things that's so critical right now that we see is a lot of people are struggling with mindset around COVID. Are we going to go into lockdown again? Are we not going to go into lockdown again? Are we, where, in terms of what is it that the year will bring for us? People are struggling with mindset. And, and I know Margriet's an accountant and Kirsten's a biokineticist, but when we start to see immune systems start to go down, well, if we start off with mindset, people are not in the right mindset, we start to see immune systems go down, which means health goes down, which means finances go down. And it's a vicious cycle. And all of those things just roll on and affect, one thing affects the other. And so, today I just want to chat a little bit around, getting your year off to a great start and looking at health, but from a mindset perspective. And when you have healthy finances, you can have a healthy body. When you have a healthy mindset about money, you can have healthy finances. And it kind of goes between each other. Those things sort of bounce off each other. But in terms of business and personal, it's such a key thing right now is people are worried about what's the next presidential announcement going to say? Where are we going to be this time next year? Are our borders going to be open? Are our borders going to be closed? Are we going to be able to visit family? Are we not going to be able to visit family? I know there's people on this call that are in quarantine at the moment for various different reasons. Either they've been exposed to somebody that's got COVID or they have COVID, and there's this big fear around COVID and what is it going to bring for your business? What is it going to bring for, your finances? What is it going to bring for your personal relationships? All those kind of things, and what is it going to affect? And I think the biggest thing that I would say to everybody is that right now the most critical thing to control is the things that you can control. Because everybody's stuck in all the other things that they can't control. Like, this person's not wearing a mask, and I went here, and do you know that they did this and they said this, and they, and it's all stuff that we actually have no control over. What do we have control over? We have control over how we think, what we do. We have control over what we put in our bodies. Are you putting it like garlic, vitamin C, echinacea? Are you boosting your immune system? Are you using your mindset to boost your immune system? Because if you're living in fear, you're turning on a lot of negativity in your body, which is not very productive for your immune system, which is going to affect your health, which then affects your business. And I know in terms of Atomic Accounting, they're pretty regular on this webinar, and they did not open their doors, their business doors, physical doors last week. They went online. because of COVID and things that were happening in the organizations. And a lot of businesses are sitting in that space where they're unsure. But you don't have any control over whether half of your employees get COVID or don't. What you do have control over is how do you manage that? What are the steps that you're putting in place to create a green zone setup? Because when you have this green zone setup and you're in the right place at the right time with the right things happening, it becomes a lot easier. So I really would encourage you to start your year thinking around, how do I put a green zone setup in place for myself, for my business, for my employees, my employer, and my family? Because even that, a green zone setup for your family is key. If you've got, youngsters that are supposedly going back to school and they can't go back to school, it's hard for them. What setup are you putting in place to make it easier for them? And I know both Margaret and Kirsten have experienced times when they've been very much in the green zone, and then they've both experienced times when they've been very much in the red zone. And as can pretty much everybody on the call. And one of the things that is to look at is, what did you do to get yourself into the green zone? So maybe I can just ask Margaret and Kirsten to share some of their experiences. Like, just Kirsten, times when you've been in the green zone, what are some of the things that you've done to be in the green zone? Because you didn't just wake up and everything was, a-okay, and everything just worked and it was magical. You had to do some things to get yourself into the green zone. So, maybe you can share some of those things that you've done to put yourself in the green zone.
Thanks, Nicole, for bursting my bubble that it wasn't all just magical and you can sprinkle some fairy dust on everything. But no, it's not just a magical experience that you end up in the green zone. Like, it does take some work, and it does take taking some of the right action. And so I think the biggest things that I do to get myself into the green zone is, number one, just keep taking action, knowing what my right next step is, and just being able to take that next step, no matter how big it is or how little it might be. It just keeps me moving forward and keeps me from getting stuck in my own head and in my own negativity, if that may be the case. And then surrounding myself with people who will help bring me out of any kind of red zone, just help keep me in the green zone. And regular processing really helps keep you in the green zone. So those are just a couple of the things that I do. And one of the biggest things that I try to be very consistent with is my daily deliberate activities. So like things like getting up in the morning and exercising and doing a gratitude exercise, having quiet time, ending my day off with the gratitude exercise, and that are things that I try and do quite consistently to keep my mindset really positive, really healthy, and as green zone as possible. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And Margaret, maybe you can share some of the things that you've done to get yourself into the green zone.
Thanks, Nicole. So yeah, it's very much the same as Kirsten, just setting goals, and it starts by setting goals and defining and finding what you want, and knowing what you want, and then every day take action and take steps, and where you get stuck, ask for help and say, okay, I'm stuck here, what can I do? And break down the goals in steps and keep on taking next steps and say, okay, well, this is step A, I need to go from point A to point B, so how do I get there? And just keep on taking the steps to get there. And as Chris also said, keep on processing. That's very, very important. And ask for help along the way. If you're stuck, then I've realized that's so important to surround you with the right people to help you get to your goals and what you want. And Yeah, and then in the end, celebrate what you get. If you get what you want, then celebrate it, and celebrate with all the people that worked and helped you to get there. And also very important to do the gratitude exercise or journal that we do every morning and every night. It grounds you, so that also helps. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And yeah, I think it is a key thing. It's just, you know, those are key things like, are you taking action? Because a lot of us are busy. And yeah, I'm you know, I've heard people say, oh, I started the year and it's so busy. And you kind of ask people, well, what have you been doing? And they're like, well, there's 5 million emails and I've spent a lot of time on Facebook, and you know, I did this and I did that. And when you actually stop and look at what is it that they're actually doing, they're not actually doing a lot of action. They're doing a lot of stuff. You know, playing games on Facebook and checking out everybody's profile pictures and what have you is. And it's interesting. I know Sully does our social media. We even see the numbers drop in Facebook around between December and New Year. People are no longer interested in anybody else. They're only interested in themselves. You know, whose family photos being posted, and it becomes not, you know, it shifts off of business. But everybody's scrolling through looking at people's, you know, what's this person doing for Christmas? What are they doing? And they're, you know, wishing other people a happy new year, but they're not actually productively looking at business stuff, which, you know, it's a great time of the year. Just for those of you that run businesses between Christmas and New Year's, actually, there's a lot of really great deals and things that you can do and get set up. And those are the kind of things that you need to be looking at. And, you know, what have you set yourself some key goals? What is the goal? Like, in terms of, from an education perspective, what is the one thing you'd like to learn this year? And I know my husband Barry, the first thing he did at the start of the year was he signed up for a course, and in the evenings has been doing a training course just to set himself up to get into action, to have that accountability, to know that he's taking action and creating something. And so it's one thing that I want to learn this year. Well, he's getting it done in the first month of the year. Why? Because it's putting him in action, and he's got the rest of the year to implement what he's learned. And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I'll learn that when I have some time. No, do it now. Because when you start learning and implementing things, that's what's going to put you into the green zone. Because you're going to start taking action, because you're going to want to understand how it works. You're going to want to understand, you know, more about it. You're going to want to learn. So one of the key things to put you into the green zone is taking action, and taking action consistently. And that's going to put you in the green zone. And a lot of people, the other thing I've seen, a lot of people are battling to get started this year, because we're in sort of lockdown and it's quarantine, and should I do this? Should I get started? Should I wait? Shouldn't I wait? And I really would encourage you, don't wait. Get into action now. Start phoning your customers now. Start making things happen and putting those things in place now, because it's going to set you up to have a great green zone year. If you could have, if you started your business last week and you were actually busy in your business, not busy, you were active in your business, and you were phoning customers and getting things set up for the year, you're already a whole week ahead of everybody else. And if you start today, you're also going to be a whole week ahead of a lot of people, because there's still a lot of people that are coming back from leave. They're still kind of waking up. They're waiting for, you know, sort of, are things going to change on the 15th? Or, you know, what's going to happen? So they'll start next week. So number one is action. Put yourself in action in your business. What are the key things you need to do? Are you pulling your team together and having a team meeting? In you know, in your personal life, are you getting active yourself? Are you physically moving your body? Are you walking? Are you know, in terms of what action are you taking to get your body moving? Because when your body moves, your business and your mind will move, and it will make a significant difference. So, and it sounds simple, and it's like, I know a lot of people are saying, I've heard all this before, but the biggest thing is that it's tried, tested, proven, it works. Put yourself in action. The next thing, if you haven't looked at what you did last year and what you achieved last year, I really would encourage you to take some time and do that. And it was one of the things that I mentioned earlier was Margaret and Kirsten had both had a big year last year doing the vital fundamentals of processing and getting qualified as processors. Why is it so critical to acknowledge that? Because by acknowledging it, they can put it to use. A lot of people have got huge skills on Zoom and technology and things like that. And there were huge learning and small wins for people, but they're actually big wins. I mean, a win for me was doing this webinar every week, committing to every single Wednesday, doing the webinar. I'd never done that before, committed to week in, week out. And, it's just the odd kind of one here or there. But so for me, that was a big win. It didn't, if I look back to commit to from March to almost the end of December, every week doing a webinar, that was a big win for me. What are some of the wins that you accomplished last year that you've kind of just brushed under the table and haven't said anything about and haven't acknowledged? Because by acknowledging those wins, you put yourself in a great state of mind. You give yourself a lot of power, personal power. This is what I achieved. This is what I did. If you start to acknowledge what you did, you can do more of it. And I know Tanya said it sounds simple, but it really isn't easy. And she's right, it's not easy, because we kind of get stuck in, I'm wasting my time, or I don't have time to do that. And the key thing is it's make the time. Put those things, get unreasonable with yourself. Don't sort of go, oh, it's okay, I'll do it later. I'll go to the gym next week. No, start off now and do it now and put those things in place. And so one of the things how we do that is by acknowledging some of the wins and things that we had previously. Because once you've acknowledged the wins from last year, it's a lot easier to do them again this year. So number one, take action. 2, celebrate the wins. Look at the wins from last year. Look at the things you achieved. For a lot of people, just surviving 2020 was a win. A lot of people just being here, it's a win. And it's important to acknowledge that win. It's important to recognize that. And then also the next thing, what are you doing to boost your immunity? Like, are you taking some form of supplements? Are you taking garlic, vitamin C, echinacea, and a multivitamin and boosting your immunity? Because it sounds so way out there, but there's a lot of scientific proof behind this. If you believe that by taking echinacea drops, your body will be healthier, guess what? Whether the echinacea drops do anything or not, your body will be healthier because your mind believes it. Your mind will tell your body that I'm going to be healthier. So put yourself on a multivitamin, a supplement, because by doing that, you're telling your brain, I am going to be healthier. And you will be healthier. Almost instantly, you will be healthier. And Michelle says, true story. And it is, and some of the key things to take is put yourself on a multivitamin. Omega-3, garlic, vitamin C, echinacea, and zinc are some of the key things that you can take to boost your immunity. Just make sure to take good quality supplements. But it really is worth it if you believe that you're healthy and you believe I'm not going to get as sick as anybody else. If I do catch COVID, I'm not going to be nearly as sick as anybody else because I'm taking instantaneously. You're setting your mind into the right place, and And Sean Ray says, my body is stronger because of the immune boosters and my COVID symptoms have been surprisingly mild. I'm here watching despite being sick. So awesome. Thank you, Sean Ray, for one, for being here, and two, for sharing that, because it is true. It is that, the immune boosters in your system, because your mind is telling your body that you're not that sick, you start to get better. And I mean, I know people that they're always sick. They're continuously sick. And why? Because they're telling themselves that they're sick. They're telling themselves that they're going to get sick, and they'll say, oh, I'm always so sick, and I'm always, so it's important to acknowledge and tell yourself, listen to what is it that you're telling yourself. Are you telling yourself, I'm terrified, I'm going to get COVID, I can't go out without a mask, I can't do this, I can't do that? And you're suppressing your immune system, you're suppressing your health just because you're speaking negatively over your body. So I really want to encourage you, speak positively over your body. Do some key things that will shift that, and it will make a significant difference to being able to take action. If you believe that you're healthy and you believe that you're going to have a great year, and it's important to talk that into your mind, into your family, into your business. In terms of, are you going into your business saying, oh, this is going to be such a tough year. We started in COVID and we started in lockdown, and it is going to be such a tough year. That's what's going to happen. Are you going into your business saying, I'm so excited, this is such a great opportunity for us, we're excited, well, people in our team's excited, we're going to have a great year. That's what you're going to create. So are you speaking the right things and speaking that over your teams, your businesses, your families, and putting that right setup in place? So take action, and say the right things in terms of your mindset. And Kirsten, is there anything you'd like to share from in terms of taking action over your body and some of the things from a health perspective?
Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, so what you're saying is very, very true in terms of when you're able to take action within your physical being, you're moving, you're doing things that making your body healthy, that get you going sort of throughout the day, whether you do your exercise routine in the morning or in the evening. What it does at a cellular level is it helps create channels of communication. And that not only happens between your muscles and your nerve cells and that, but between your mind and your body as well. So in the morning, when when that alarm goes off at, 4:50, 5 a.m. in the morning, and you want to hit the snooze button, it's easier not to do that when you're taking action. You're getting up in the morning and you're training your body to develop those habits, because there's great communication in your body. You start to feel a bit better about yourself. You start to move a little bit easier. You start to be able to take more and more action, because it feels good to take little steps every day and create those good habits. And when that starts feeling good, it's easier to reach for those bigger goals and those bigger things, whether it's with your exercise or in business or doing things with your family. I mean, I remember having a client walk in with me who could barely walk in terms of, she was hunched over, her feet were sore, and she thought that the exercise would just sort of help her live a little bit longer. And a year later, she was getting on the floor with her grandkids and playing with them and rolling around and more active than the parents were. And that was just by taking a little bit of action and putting some right steps in place. So yeah, it's what you're saying is extremely true and is far more important than what you give it credit for. When, I've heard it all before, and I know what you're saying, and everyone says the same thing. But like you say, it's tried, it's tested, it's true. Just give yourself a little bit of kindness and a little bit of tough love to get yourself going, and just make take small little steps. Instead of setting yourself, I'm going to exercise for an hour every day and I'm going to do it twice a day, start off with going for a 10-minute walk every day and incorporate that into your plan and get going from there.
Yeah, thank you, Kirsten. And you know, it's so key around that taking action. And one of the things that I had said is when you're in the green zone, well, if we start off at the beginning of the year, you know, where are you? Are you in the red zone, the yellow zone, or the green zone? Because when you acknowledge where you are, you have a goal to work towards. So like Kirsten was sharing, the lady that came in and she was hunched over, and physically her body was in the red zone. And she, you know, oh, I just want to get a little bit better. So she thought if she could live longer by putting herself in the green zone, her physical movement in the green zone, she would live longer. But there was a whole lot of other benefits that came with it. And some of those were, as Kirsten mentioned, she was able to, you know, play with her grandkids on the floor and do all sorts of things. And that's what happens in our businesses. When we acknowledge, okay, we didn't have a great year last year. Okay, but the goal is to work through where we are, to shift, pivot, make the changes, and put ourselves in the green zone. What you will find is a whole lot more things will come at you that will be better than what you expected, and you will get way bigger rewards. And, you know, that's why celebrating the wins that you had and the achievements you had last year is so critical, because you can, oh, there were some patches in the green zone last year. Okay, what do I need to do to get back there? Oh, great, I can shift myself back into that space. So it's a key thing that in terms of one, acknowledging the wins, and then being in a space where you can put yourself back there on so many different levels. And then the other thing that is going to set you up to have a great year is communication. Who are you communicating with? And I think, I'm not sure if it was Kirsten or Margaret who mentioned asking for help. And one of the things that's put them in the green zone is asking for help. And who are you learning from? Who are you getting inspiration from? Who are you communicating with? Are you spending all your time listening to how the COVID stats around the globe and, you know, how many deaths there are in this country and how many deaths there are and how many contractions and and you can recite numbers until you're blue in the face? Well, that's not necessarily positive. Because you have no control over it. You have no control over, you know, what's happening in Italy or America or things like that. Yeah, it's cool. It's nice to know those stats once in a while, but don't spend all your time focused solely on those stats. You know, register for some key things that you can, like I mentioned, starting to learn, you know, what is one thing you want to learn this year? Well, who are you learning from? You know, in terms of at Uncovering Greatness, we have the Entrepreneur Hangout, which is a really great platform where you can go onto, and there's a lot of free things, and you can listen to some of the interviews and things like that. And then, you know, in terms of register for the paid events and start committing to yourself that you're going to invest in yourself. And that is a key thing and a key ability that is going to set you up to win. Because the other thing, if you believe that you're investing in yourself, I'm doing stuff for me, what does that say? That says, I matter, I'm important to me, I'm prepared to invest in me. So I'm important, which will boost your immune system, which will then put you in communication, because you'll start sharing your ideas with other people, and this is what I've learned, and those kind of things. So, you know, in terms of who are you communicating with, who are you learning with, who are you teaching? You know, who do you want to teach? Because as much as it's key to learn something, it's also key to teach something. So, you know, who are you learning from and who are you teaching? And who do you plan to do that with this year? And that will set you up to win, because your focus already is shifted off of all the negative things that are going on. You're putting yourself into the positive, because you're helping other people and you're helping yourself. So it's a key thing to do in order to boost your immunity and boost your mindset, is start off with the year as, you know, who you're going to help, who you're going to learn from, who you're going to communicate with. have you started communicating with your clients yet? Do they know your hours? I mean, I know it's something, it sounds so silly, but you can go onto a website and you can see, oh, we're open 24 hours. And then you try and phone them because it's like, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the evening. And you think, okay, the number says it's open 24 hours. I'll phone them. And then they say, oh no, our hours are from this time to this time. And it's frustrating because I went onto the website to actually check that I could phone them. I didn't go onto the website for their phone number. I've got their phone number, and from a communication perspective, because of COVID and all of the rules and regulations, and people are not, their hours have changed. Well, are you communicating that to your clients? Are you communicating that to the people around you? Are you letting people know that you're open for business? Are you, talking to your clients? And it's a key thing at the moment, is, let your clients know when you're open. Let your clients know your hours. Are you, connect with them, speak to them. And just Margaret, in terms of, from your accounting perspective, in terms of, I know you mentioned there was a client that you didn't want to reach out to because it was during Christmas and New Year. What happened?
Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, so that was a very interesting situation that happened there. She in the meantime found other solutions. So, and then instead of getting upset over it, like I said at the beginning, instead of like saying, oh no, okay, I'm so all upset about this business that didn't happen, I was rather focused on, okay, what can I do and how can I help her in other business projects going forward? So rather worrying about things that I can't control, rather focus on things that I can control. So what I want to mention, so my sort of logo or vision or whatever for 2021 is wherever I say 2021, I say WON. So I made a choice of just going out with a winning attitude towards this year and just making that deliberate choice of this is going to be a winning year. So, and I totally agree with you, as you say, also on taking action. What I've also learned is they say what you resist will persist. So if you don't take that action, you keep on pushing it off, it will keep on stay there and keep like hang over your head. Like I had to go through cleaning up my emails before I opened my office. Is just a thing I do every year, and I was like resisting and I was saying, no, I don't know, I'll do it tomorrow, and in the end it got this big thing and I kept on resisting it. But once you do it, you take that first step and just start doing it, it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. So yeah, so you can't start a journey if you don't take your first step. So I will say, just like Nike says, just do it.
But just connected to that particular client, it was a client you were wanting to reach out to, and you were concerned that it's between Christmas and New Year, or I don't know if the client's on holiday, and you didn't reach out to the client, and so what happened was the client reached out and found somebody else who could help her. That's correct?
Yes, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah,
and
lack of communication.
Yeah, and it's that out of communication, but it was something that you were wanting to do. It was at the back of your mind. You were like, I know I should reach out to this person, and you didn't take the action. And what happened? The client found someone else. And it's a great example, because just because our little voice is going, maybe I shouldn't because I don't want to inconvenience them or anything like that, it is that let your clients know that you're willing to help them, even if it is, over holidays or, whatever it is. Is the client aware that they can actually communicate with you? And how do they communicate with you? Because otherwise in that situation, like the client's going to go elsewhere. You're going to lose business. And I think it's a key thing right now is by communicating with your clients, you're going to service your clients better, you're going to serve them better, you're going to get better results for them, and they will come back to you. So communicate with your clients in terms of, let them know when you're open, what's happening, how it's happening, and make sure that you know, in terms of that, you're updating your websites, you're updating your platforms, so that, especially at the beginning of the year, so that they can, you know, they've got that information. And the other thing, you know, Margaret made such a great point of, is that when things aren't going right, what is the attitude that you're having towards it? Are you getting, oh shit, you know, that stupid client, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing on the webinar, but anyways. But we kind of do that. We kind of go and instead we beat ourselves up and we go, you know, I had that thought, I was going to reach out to her and I didn't, and we talk negative over ourselves instead of going, you know what? I should have done that. I didn't do it. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to apologize to the client and I'm going to move forward. Like Margaret had such a great attitude. She said, I'm looking at other ways of how I can help that client. And, you know, are you doing that? Are you looking at other ways of how you can help those clients, even, and how you can serve them, even if they have used somebody else or they are using somebody else? And, you know, it's a key ability right now, is just to keep that communication and check in with people, check in with your clients and your customers from last year, find out how they're doing, how can you help them? And, you know, I mean, I know I sent a message out to quite a few clients last week that I had seen early December who were due to work with me early January, and they haven't reached out, and I sent messages to them, and a lot of them haven't reached out to me. But I know the one client did, and they said, oh, you know, I was so grateful that I got your message last week, and so sorry I didn't respond, you know, I'm still on holiday, blah, blah, blah. But they know that I'm thinking about them. They know that I've reached out to them. So it is a key thing, is that, are you reaching out to your clients, that you're putting that communication in, and in terms of, you know, and then also connecting with who are your mentors, you know, who you're communicating with for help, who you're going to learn from, who you're going to grow with. And so I really, really would encourage you to look at some of those things to kick off the year, because, you know, there's some key things about being in the green zone. Is, you know, it's, some people say, oh, you're just so lucky. No, it's not luck. It's people took action, they had the right attitude, they did the right things, they put themselves in the right place, and they created luck. They created that vibe and that energy. So, you know, when you are in the green zone, opportunities come. And like Kirsten was saying around that client, that physically she was struggling. As soon as she put herself in the green zone, she had huge rewards, like being able to play with her grandkids and that. And that's the same thing that's going to happen in your business. When you start off with the right mindset and your goal is to put yourself in the green zone, you will find benefits that come your way that you did not expect. And that's what we call luck. You got lucky. No, well, you did get lucky because you were in the right place at the right time, but the reason why is because you took the right steps and you took action. So if you haven't celebrated your wins and written down all the things you've achieved from last year, I'd encourage you to do that. Take some time, do that. And then I think it was Margaret who mentioned the gratitude process. You know, one of the things that we really encourage everybody to do is to do the gratitude exercise. And if you're feeling not great, like right now you get, you know, in terms of what are the things you're grateful for? Can you stop and find 10 things that you're grateful for right now? And we recommend that that's how you start your day. A lot of personal development people will tell you also to do the gratitude exercise or do some form of gratitude. But it's, even if you were, you know, it's been great to see the positivity on the call, because Sean Ray was, you know, saying how well she's doing, and Michelle made some positive comments. And it's a key thing when things are not going well. It's, if you started your year off and you've been diagnosed with COVID, are you sitting in the shock and the fear and, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that? Or you're looking at it going, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have the ability to go to the doctor. I'm grateful that I could, I've got finances to buy zinc and, omega-3 and vitamin D. And, I'm grateful that I have, my family that can look after me. I'm grateful that I can get on a Zoom call. I'm grateful that I can still run my business. So, in terms of that, the gratitude exercise is a key tool that you can use on a daily basis, not just in the mornings, but when things aren't going well. How do you suddenly switch yourself into a positive space? Because I know that there's two things you can't feel at the same time, two emotions, and it's fear and gratitude. And when you're sitting in fear and anxiety and you switch it to gratitude, and even if it's just, I'm grateful that I can take a deep breath. I'm grateful that I have a cell phone. I'm grateful that I can, I've got somebody to call. Just by doing that, you will make a significant difference in your mindset, which will boost your immunity, boost your health, and it will allow you to take action and do all those things. So I really want to encourage you to do that. And, Tanya said they're really simple, but they're not easy. And they're not easy things to do, but they are key things that will make a significant difference in setting yourself up to have a great green zone year, green zone day, green zone family. And it will put the right setups in place to help you win. And then you win with other people and you can celebrate the wins. So I would love for all of you next week. We'll be a little bit more interactive next week and get some comments and feedback. But I'd love to hear from you next week. What did you implement this week? What have you been able to do? What have you been able to, and what are some of the key things that you've been able to do to put yourself in the green zone? And maybe some of you can do that now, is put some of those things that you do on a regular basis into the chat box to put yourself in the green zone. Give other people some ideas of what are some of those things. So if you want to type into the chat box some of the things that you've been able to do, and or maybe it's a win you want to share. If it's something, a win, this is a great time to share wins. What are some of the wins that you've achieved, or starting off the year? I'd love to hear from some of you. What are some of the things that you've done? Or maybe it's gratitude, or maybe it's action. Or maybe you've done a course already. Maybe you've registered for something. Maybe you've done some webinars. Maybe you're doing investments financially. What are some of the things that you've done? I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you've done? If you could type those into the chat box to put yourself into a green zone space. So Margaret says, I went to the gym again today. That's a big win for me. Sean Ray, I've started and built my new product list. For the online store, my website designer will start to, and that's awesome, Sean Ray. So thank you for sharing, and thank you, Margaret, for sharing. Fiona says walking twice a day. Zelda says walking every day, and that's so fabulous because you're getting your body moving. And Michelle and Eugene said they started working today again. Awesome, And Delian says training regularly at the CrossFit box. Yana says, getting my products ready for my new business. And that is awesome. Well done to all of you that are taking action. Harshila says, thank you for this day. I started a 30-day yoga challenge and I'm on day 8. Awesome. And, it's great to see that. And, one of the things that just with Harshila saying started a 30-day yoga challenge is, one of the key things about that is accountability. And that comes back to communication. Who are you accountable to? Who are you communicating with? What are you doing to? And it's such a great thing when you have that accountability, like a 30-day challenge, you put the accountability in there, that communication, and you're connecting. So that's really, really great. Yvonne says, reevaluating and organizing systems and procedures and planning and implementing due end of this week for the business to open on Monday. And that is awesome. So it is great to see what people are doing and that you guys are taking action and you're starting to put some of those things in place. So I think give yourselves a big round of applause. That is pretty awesome. So well done to start the year. And Nicolene says, moved into a new house and all my boxes is unpacked. Well, that deserves a big round of applause, all your boxes unpacked. Because, yeah, that's not easy. But it's a great way to start the year because you've taken huge action. You've unpacked everything. It's exciting. It's new. And it is. It's when people move into new houses and they leave boxes unpacked, it ties up a lot of life force particles and a lot of energy, and they actually get stuck there. So it's awesome, Nicolene, that you've unpacked all your boxes. So well done. And yeah, just really, really grateful to have each one of you on the call. And to start off the year, it's great to see so many of you coming back to the You versus You webinar. And yeah, I'd love to you make notes of some of the things that you've done to put yourself and your business into the green zone. That would be awesome. So Margriet, as we finish off, is there anything you'd like to say?
Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, I would just say, yeah, 2021 WON. Keep on taking action, keep on winning. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Kirsten, anything you'd like to say as we wrap it up?
Thanks, Nicole. I just want to say thank you for getting the webinar going again and for us to have somewhere to share these things with, because it's really great to be able to share with other people and hear what other people are doing, and it just creates a really positive environment. So I'm very grateful for that and for all of you for sharing the things that you're doing to help yourselves, and congratulations on doing all those things. That's really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten. And yeah, I know Kim said she released her new reader, which is great. Fiona says, thanks, Mr. Weekly Fix. Tabo says, thank you so much. This is valuable. So yeah, I really want to encourage you to come back next week, start, communicating with the right people. If you haven't had a look at Entrepreneur Hangout, the link was in the chat box. Silly, if you're there, if you could put it back in, thank you. You read my mind. And so yeah, if you haven't, spend some time, investing in yourself. Look at Entrepreneur Hangout. In terms of, there's a lot of stuff that's on the paid section of Entrepreneur Hangout. We'd love to have you join us there. And yeah, have a great week. Have a great start to the year. Make it green zone, and we will see you all back here next week at the same time. And thank you so much. Take care and bye.